Good evening, Strategic Alpha community members. This is 18 July 2025, and we are up for yet another community session where we discuss about what happened in the past 1 week. We also discuss about the market insights and investing wisdom. And at the end of the session, we also take the Q&A questions for the community members from the community members. So without wasting much time, let us start with this weekly community connect. So today is 18 July 2025. Let us first discuss about the frontline indices. So frontline indices weekly performance. Let us first discuss about India VIX. India VIX was down 3.6% at 11.39. India VIX is a barometer which tells us about the volatility. So above 20, 22, 23, it shows high volatility ahead, and towards less than 14, it shows that it is on a low, markets are on a low volatile regime. So we are in a consolidation phase, and India VIX is at 11.39. So Nifty 50 was down 0.7% in past 1 week. Nifty Midcap 100 was up 0.8%. Small cap index was up 1.72%. So which means small cap and mid caps have outperformed the Nifty. Nifty public sector enterprises was down 0.8%. BSC IPO index was up 0.88%. In fact, recently, few of the recently stocks have started doing well. So this was about frontline indices. Now let us look at the sectorial indices. Nifty Media Index was up 3.9%. Nifty Reality Index was up 3.8%. Nifty Capital Market Index was up 3.3%. In fact, we discussed about Nifty Capital Market Index some 10-12 weeks back. It has been continuously doing well for the past 2-3 months. And this week also Nifty Capital Market Index was up 3.3%. PSU Bank Index was up 1.9%, and EV and New Age Automotive Index was up 1.9% as well. Now let us look at commodities performance. So I've been discussing about it that we are already in a commodity bull run started by gold. Then recently silver has also joined the party, and later on it should enter into industrials. So industrial commodities, let us first look at the energy commodities. Natural gas was up 8.69%, heating oil was up 4.6%, ethanol was up 2.3%, naphtha was up 0.37%. The other commodities like lithium was up 4.55%. Iron ore is very firm. It is up 2.48%. Steel was up 1.36%. Copper was up 0.22%. So in fact, I've been tracking copper recently again for anything which can happen in the industrial commodities. It should start first with copper, because first gold, as I said, that in a commodity bull run, gold enters into bull run first, then it enters into silver, and then it enters into other industrial commodities. And the first industrial commodities which it should affect and should bring a bull run, which I think is copper. So copper, I am tracking it from that angle. I've been tracking many a times. I've talked about it, that I've been tracking, but there are the signs, the clear signs for any commodity, unless and until it sets into that, it doesn't create an investment view. So still I'm tracking copper. In fact, recently I've started tracking copper miners index also in US, because that is I think the best way to play the copper theme. In India, if you want to play a theme, there are limited stocks in India. But if you want to play a theme, if you play it through ETF, that becomes a what we say, risk adjusted, it becomes a better play. So I've started tracking copper miners in US also. I talked about silver miners in US, which has done extremely well in the past 6-7 months. I've started tracking copper miners thanks to Apurva, who brought me that to my notice, and I have started tracking that. Now, let us look at other commodities performance. So, urea was up 3.57%, zinc was up 2.87%, palladium was up 2.29%. Other commodities were also firm. Now, let us look at news which matters the most. So, consumer inflation has dropped to a 6-year low at 2.1%, fueling expectations for further rate cuts. Now, this is a two-pronged way one should be looking at this data, because consumer inflation, though it is good to have that inflation should be low and it should be well within the range, but the other part one should also understand is lower than needed inflation is also not good for the economy. So overall, as of now, if the RBI looks at a rate cut, market will look it as a fresh trigger. But overall, what happens is inflation should be low in the range of, let us say, 3 to 4%. That is okay. But too much low inflation is also not good for the economy, because what happens with equity as an asset class is that equity as an asset class has inflation as a component of a growth in the earnings. So if there is no inflation, then the sluggishness in the earnings also comes, and we have seen that across not all the sectors, not all the companies have started posting good results. Only few of the companies have been doing well. But what happens is, at this stage, when inflation runs down too low, uh, RBI also looks at the growth numbers which they want to bring the mojo back. So in that terms, um they might also go for a rate cut. But having seen a big rate cut just recently, expectation of a big rate cut cannot be there. We might see a small rate cut which might happen, uh, looking at the current situation. So that is what the news is and which matters the most. Now let us look at the second news. Negotiations between India and UK for bilateral trade agreement accelerated this week, and going forward, if there is a FTA which is long pending, and few for some of the agreements have already happened for some of the textile companies, some more triggers might come. So bilateral trade FTA with UK is a big trigger for textile companies. So you can look it from that angle, especially the companies which are having secret sauces of a multi-bagger: high sales growth, margin expansion, deleveraging of balance sheet, and valuation expansion. Such companies uh, should be on the radar if UK FTA happens, because such companies can do extremely well. Now let us look at third news, which is US solar manufacturers seek tariffs on Indian imports. There is one more development, fourth, which is not there in this sheet, but India is uh, discussing tariffs with US, and it is expected that tariffs might remain in the range of 10 to 15%. So if the tariffs, most of the tariffs comes at 15%, it will be bullish for India. But if the tariffs tends to more towards 10%, it will be super bullish for India. So that should be kept on the radar. The developments might happen over the next 1 week, and that is a big trigger for the markets from here on. Overall, the market structure which we are looking at is market is consolidating in the range. In fact, if you have seen that stock specific moves I've said that financial year 25-26 is all about stock pickers, and don't look at the markets, look at the stock specific, bottoms up, be bottoms up, and that has been working. If you've seen, markets are not going anywhere, but few of the stocks have gone up like 30%, 50%, 70%, something like Force Motors, which we discussed. We discussed other stocks also, which on this platform, and some of the stocks have been doing extremely well. Uh, so it is clearly a stock pickers bottoms up market where expectations from index are not much, but the stock specific ideas are doing extremely well. So this should continue for some time. And overall, I have been saying that this is not a market where you have to be 100% invested in equities. You have to, this is a year uh, of being bullish in value. What it means is you cannot just like what you made money in 2020, 21, 22, or 23, or even 24. Same thing will not work here. Uh, the diversification across the asset classes, uh, especially some of the asset classes which we have discussed, can do very well compared to small cap. Some of the indices, some of the asset classes are already doing well, especially if you look at silver, especially if you look at capital markets theme, especially if you look at BFSI theme. So selected pockets are doing extremely well compared to the markets. They are doing extremely well compared to small cap. Even they are placed better on a risk adjusted basis compared to small caps. Even if you look at Hang Seng Tech Index, that is placed better than Indian small caps from a risk reward perspective, from a valuation perspective. So this year is all about following the asset allocation right, and being aggressive in the right asset allocation, so that uh, the portfolio is positioned towards heads I win big, tails I don't lose much. So that is what the situation is currently right now. Now let us look at Strategic Alpha's FTVT framework. What are the sectors which qualifies from FTVT framework? So what is FTVT? FTVT is nothing but it is a holistic investment process which we at Strategic Alpha follow, and which we also teach in our Conviction Club, where the practitioners of Conviction Club follows this FTVT process. So what is FTVT? FTVT is nothing but a blending of fundamentals, technicals, valuation studies, and triggers. Because fundamentals tells you what to buy, what not to buy. Technicals will tell you when to buy, when to increase, when to reduce, when to exit. Valuation studies will tell you how much to buy, how much money should be put in. It tells you more about allocation based on the risk reward and margin of safety. And triggers will help you prioritize between the bets, because even after the filtration, you might get few stocks like 20-25 stocks, good investable ideas. But what are those 4-5 ideas which you should be focusing more on? So it will be told by triggers. So on this all basis, it creates a holistic investment process, and we call it as FTVT framework. So what are the sectors which have been doing well? uh, Nothing should be considered as a recommendation per se, but I'm just discussing. I've been discussing about it, and it is continuously doing well even now. It is BFSI, and especially within the BFSI, there are pockets which are doing well. It is housing finance. I posted about that also in the Conviction Club, that housing finance stocks can do well, and they have been already doing well. They are doing performing better than the small caps, and some of the housing finance stocks are placed very nicely from here, and they can turn out to be a multi-baggers going forward. So BFSI housing finance is a pocket uh, where the FTVT is qualifying. Then capital markets, I already discussed about it earlier. When I discussed about it 2-3 months back, I said about the whole capital market as an index. But now what has happened is capital market index has also run up a bit. There is a little bit margin of safety which is left, but high level of margin of safety is not there in the index. But overall, if you look at if you go down the stock, there is a lot of stock specific value even there in the capital market index. Recently we have seen that HDFC AMC extremely doing well. It is now trading at a lifetime high. Nippon AMC, it is trading at a lifetime high. Many of the capital market stocks are already trading at lifetime high. But even today in this market, even in this situation, capital market stocks, especially which are going through a transformation where the earlier companies which were earlier broking companies getting transformed into wealth management companies, distribution companies, such are such will be such companies will be going forward. They can be a transformational story, a big PE rating which might happen, and that is the pocket within the capital market segment. From bottom up, I think it can do extremely well even from here. They're placed very nicely chartically. They're placed very nicely from a valuation perspective. They are placed very nicely from a fundamentals perspective. Even from a theme perspective, it is a sub part of BFSI, which is extremely doing well and continue to do well. It can continue to do well. So that is what is from BFSI, which we as a community we are already invested into it. We are riding those, and it can continue to do well. Now the next thing which recently I talked about it in September also in 2024. I talked about Hang Seng Tech Index. So Hang Seng Tech Index started moving up when Indian markets were falling. Now, once again, what has happened is recently when the markets are consolidating, Hang Seng Tech Index has resumed its uptrend. I also posted about it on Twitter. You can go and check the post. So Hang Seng Tech in Equities is one such theme where one should not be missing that. We are already invested into that through Mira Asset Hang Seng Tech ETF. We are up 25-30% already there, and we also participated it through Edelweiss Greater China Fund through a mutual fund. So we are playing that tech index theme, which is placed, which is qualifying from FTVT, which qualified from FTVT. Now it has run up, but still it might look good. You can study about it. Silver, as I said, one more sector which is silver, especially it's an asset class, not a sector, but it can do extremely well going forward. Also, is silver. I've been talking about it, and it can do very well going forward also. So this was all about the sectors which are in uptrend with high relative strength and low valuations, which qualifies as FTVT framework. Now let us look at the stocks which I am studying, or stock which are on my watch list, or stock which I might have recently bought. So these are some of the stocks. So I have talked about it earlier also about dynamic products. Dynamic products is dyes, chemicals, and intermediaries manufacturer, which I think the profitability can go up like 5x from here, um, because of operating leverage, sales growth, and all those things. You can look at the case study which I have recently quoted about it. Uh, Recently, what has happened is in the past 2-3 years, number of shareholders in in dynamic products has gone down from I think 18,500 to 12,500 in the past 3 years, which is a sign of investor consolidation. A lot of people talk about many other factors, but very few people talk about investor consolidation. Investor consolidation is very much important if for a stock to move up and turn out to be a wealth creator, because unless and until the retail shareholders are thrown out, the stock cannot start its new journey. And dynamic products, which I've been tracking, which I've been invested also, recently it has moved up 25-30% in past 1 or 2 weeks, which can do well going forward also, is dynamic products, where sales growth, that sales can double in 2 years, in 3 years of time, 2 to 2.5 times the sales can grow. The profitability can go up 5 to 7 times, and overall it is one of the hated sectors, where in past 4 years the sector has not done any well. Even the stock has not done any well. The stock is down 70% from the top, and that is what is on my radar. The second stock which is on my radar, or I might be studying, is Al Cargo Terminals. I also posted about it on VIP Access, and also on Twitter. You can go through the detailed case of Al Cargo Terminals. Usually, I divide the entire stories, whatever I have, into three different parts. Every story is either a 1 to 3 year story, a 5 year story, or a decadal story. So I think from the perspective where logistics sector is placed, I think logistics sector is a 3 to 4 year play, and Al Cargo Terminals also might gets fit into that. Recently, I also posted about the management interview. You can go through that. I have posted that on Twitter. Just look at this is a company with less than 1,000 crore market cap, and management is saying that they will be doing a capex of 400 crores in next 2 to 3 years. So that is what the possibilities. And if management is also guiding about 15 to 20% sales growth CAGR for the next few years, and I think it is a very conservative statement which they have given. But for the logistics sector as a whole, where the opportunity is big for logistics, I think this is a company which is the leader in the segment. This is what I'm tracking. And I think recently it is at an inflection point where it has just started a stage 2 uptrend. It was into a downtrend from long time. I posted about it. You can go through that. I have posted on Twitter. Now the next stock which is on my radar, or I might be studying, or I might be also owning it, is KRBL. So KRBL has been in the consolidation phase for a long time, and it KRBL is nothing but India Gate Basmati rice. So prior to 2014, India Gate Basmati rice, KRBL, was a bigger brand than Dawat. But now recently what has happened in past 4 5 years, Dawat has become a bigger brand than KRBL in terms of total revenues, even in terms of total market cap. Now what has happened is recently KRBL, which was into some sort of a trouble, is coming out of a trouble. And I think the business is at an inflection point. One can study about it, where the sales growth, margin expansion, valuation expansion, deleveraging of balance sheet, all that can play out in KRBL. But one red flag which I would like to keep you aware is that earlier the promoters of KRBL have been uh, uh, have been engaged, or are related to chopper scam which happened. So one should be studying about it and understand the risks in the business, because it is not such a business or such a promoter group where you can find the full of transparency. So you need to take care of that and think it from that angle. But overall, KRBL uh, is on my radar, and I've been studying it. Then recently, which I have started studying, one ETF is Copper Miners ETF. So it is in US. So especially when you need to play a copper theme, I think because if in India, if you want to play a theme, there is a single stock. But if you want to play that theme, you need to have a bunch of stock. Especially if you have seen that whenever the rally happens in sectors, it happens uh, across the stocks. It is not that only one stock moves. So whenever because the theme picking is a what we say, it is much more important than picking a stock. Because if you pick a bottoms up stock, and if the theme is not in favor, your stock might not give big returns. But if you pick a theme, if you pick a bottom up stock, and also it is a running theme, then it can be a big wealth creator. We have seen that with transformers, where we discussed about transformers and rectifiers, and it did extremely well. It turned out to be multi-bagger. It has happened multiple cases. Even if you have seen in, even whenever you will see that whenever sector is also where there are sectorial tailwinds along with the bottoms up idea, that idea does extremely well. So from that angle, it is better if you need to have both these approaches, like tops up and bottoms up, top down and bottom up. And if you get both the things right, then it becomes a big wealth creator. So from that angle, I'm tracking copper miners ETF whenever the theme kicks in, because what happens is in a stock you might allocate like 2%, 3%, 5%, or 10%. But if you get the theme right, you can even allocate 25, 30% to a theme. So that is what it matters the most when you are playing the theme. So spotting the theme, if you can do it at the right time, it nothing better like it. So from that angle, I've started tracking copper miners ETF, and I'll keep updated the Conviction Club members about it, what I'm doing with that theme. So this was all about the weekly roundup and my thoughts, my insights about the markets, and also the stocks and sectors which are on my radar, which I've been studying. So with this, I open up the questions. If you have any questions, I'll be taking three questions, three or max four questions. If you have any questions, please raise your hand. Yes, Harish, Chandan. If you have any questions, please raise your hand. Also,
Sir,
just to mention, whatever we have discussed here, do not take anything as a recommendation. If you need a recommendation service, there is a different service called as Deep Value Portfolio, which you can subscribe to. Whatever we are discussing here is purely from an educational perspective. If you buy any stock on the basis of the discussion, and if you lose money, I'm not responsible for it, because it's your own decision what you need to do, and you need to study about it. We are just posting this from an educational perspective. And if you still want a recommendation service, there is a SEBI registered investment advisor portfolio which is called as Deep Value Portfolio, which you can subscribe to by connecting with our team member. So
Yeah.
this is
Hi, hi.
which I would give.
Can you hear me?
Please ask a question.
Suyog, can you hear me?
hi sir.
Yes, Harish.
Yeah. So Suyog, I just want to know, so which platform are you using to invest in US markets? Let's say if you want to invest in ETF or something, right? So can you suggest the platform you are using currently to invest in US?
Yeah, we are using Stockal platform through IFL. So there is a IFL Global Investing, which is a platform. They have tied up with Stockal, which is a broker,
Uh,
which helps you invest in outer markets. In fact, I'll be taking a session with Stockal very soon. Stay tuned. It will be helpful for all.
sure.
They are
Thank
not only in US market, but they are slowly starting other markets also, like Japan,
you.
Korea, and all those other markets are also they are starting. So Stockal is the platform which I use to
Okay, so
invest.
Stockcal is an international broker or something, because I think IFL
Yeah,
will try, right? Something like that, correct?
yeah. Yeah.
Okay. We'll wait for the session. I think that will be very helpful for us.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, love Aurora. Shandan.
Hi sir, good evening.
Yes, good evening.
Um, Actually, I kind of have two questions. The first one is a few big companies are out with their Q1 results, and it actually doesn't look so good. So, are you looking into it? Any comment on that? And the second one
So
will be
it is too early to speak. At least 25% of the result should come to understand the impact. As of now, it is very early.
yes. Yes. And the second one will be last week you spoke in length about how to sell. Just a sub question on that. How to handle like very small company or that stocks that generally move in circuits? Any extra precaution while holding such stocks?
Now, let us say the stocks which moves in circuits, usually it might be a small market cap company. And if you see unless see one should be entering into any such small companies only and only if one sees a big multi-bagger quotation. Otherwise, there is no use of entering into those, because entering
Yes.
into low liquid stocks for trading is not a good idea. So unless and until one is seeing that there is a big multi-bagger potential, one should not even touch these illiquid stocks or low liquidity stocks. And even if you are, let us say, owning those low liquid stocks, what happens is the volatility will be high, but volatility is not a risk in a good opportunity stock. What will happen is usually in such cases, you need to only check the prices only on weekends. So if you make a habit of checking the prices on weekends, most of the noise will be out, because what happens is whatever happens through entire week is all noise. The clarity happens only on the weekends. You have to check on weekends and month end uh, if you are invested into such stocks, and you have to follow the weekly closing basis or monthly closing basis prices depending upon which type of opportunity. Because if you are entered looking at the monthly charts, you have to look at monthly. If you are entered looking at weekly charts, you have to look at weekly. So depending upon your time horizon, be it medium term or long term, you have to follow that. Now, one more thing is with low liquidity stocks, what should be the case is instead of buying on breakouts, such stocks should be bought on reversals, because the breakout buying doesn't help in illiquid stocks or circuit stocks. It is better to own them when there is a dip and a small reversal. So, such stocks, if one avoids, uh, I'm talking about the first buying. You can add on breakouts, but add buying first tranche, what we say. The first buying should not be on breakouts. It should be on the supports. It will give you the much room when you are buying near the supports, and then you start increasing on the upside when the weekly breakout happens and the big base formation happens. Usually, even if you are adding such stocks, what you need to do is, let us say, if the breakout happens, wait for 3 to 4 weeks for that to consolidate, because none of the stocks will go up even after the breakout happens. It will not go up immediately, and even if it moves up immediately, wait for the base formation to happen to add more. So such stocks, if you do that that way, it will be very helpful for to control the volatility, and as well as not get wagged out during the volatility period.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hello, good evening, sir.
Yes, good evening.
Sir, this 10 to 15% tariff with US, when it might be clear, sir, within how many times, means days?
Next week we shall get a clarity.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Sir, is it a good time to invest heavily in small caps?
No, exactly not. Small caps are vulnerable. I've been talking about it. Uh, Small caps, just go through my video on YouTube where I've discussed FY 25-26 strategy. So small cap is not the best place to be. Small cap is in fact the worst place to be from a valuation point of view. And how do you, and there are better places than small caps. Why do we want to enter in small caps? If you go through that video, I've clearly explained there. And in fact, some of the themes are extremely doing well than small caps, which we discussed on. I don't know how long you have been tracking, but I discussed about Nifty capital markets theme. It is extremely doing well than the small caps. Today the risk reward is not favorable, but there are a lot of places where the themes can actually deliver more return at a better risk adjusted basis than small caps.
So
In that,
JM financials come all in capital markets only.
yes,
So because I have seen this that stock has not worked since 4 5 years.
that one should check what transformation is happening and what was the story earlier. Today, the story is completely different than what it was 4 5 years back, even 2 years back. Just understand the case, you'll understand what is happening with it. I posted about it on Twitter. You can go through that.
Okay, okay. So
Yes, Manuja. Manuja.
Yes, sir. Sir, I have a question regarding silver. So, is it still a good time to enter silver at this point of time? And how much percentage is it is like the expectation that we can have and safely
What I can
cash?
tell you is I cannot tell you how much returns it can give you. What I can tell you is it is placed better than small caps. So it can deliver small cap returns at half the small cap risk. So you can understand how much it can give. Because small caps are the asset class which gives the best returns during the bull run. But silver is expected to do better than small caps. So it is one of the best asset classes today. And even today, it's not a bad time. Even if it has gone up, like we discussed about it at 94, 95,000, it has gone up.
Mhm.
Yes. But what you can do is you can do a weekly SIP so that volatility will not hurt you. And what you can in fact do is, let us say if you have 100 rupees to invest in silver, you can put 40 50 rupees now, and rest 60 rupees you can stagger the buying uh, by putting it in liquid fund and shifting it to silver fund, silver ETF, whatever the fund you might choose, on a weekly basis. Let us say for 3 months you started the weekly shifting, weekly STP. That will give you a better average. In fact, if the volatility happens, you will be benefiting.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir.
And we are doing that already in the silver. So if there are no more questions, I think Kunal, Sachin, Love Aurora, please ask your question.
Sir, in B theme, what are you looking at? Like, I mean, which companies we should study about? If you can name few.
So I've been posting about it on VIP Access Twitter also. You can go through that. I'll tell you what are the pockets which can do well from BFSI. The pockets from BFSI is housing finance, which can do extremely well. NBFC can do well, and capital markets. So these are the three broad themes within the BFSI which are already doing well, and it will continue to do well. Now, from the stocks which I might be already invested, or I might be researching, or they might be on my radar, is one of the case which I have posted is Repco Home Finance. You can look at it. Heavily undervalued. Then you can look at Manappuram Finance. It is a part of Deep Value portfolio, which I posted about it on Twitter some 3-4 months back. It has already moved up a lot. You can look at it. The From the capital markets theme, I discussed about JM Financials, that is already up 50%. I discussed about IFL Capital Services, that is already up. But these are the pockets where we have been participating, and it can do well. So if you think that the valuations even today are good, you might look at it. These are broadly which I'm looking at from the capital markets. There are few usually in this theme you need to look at the transformational stories. There is a price value mismatch, because just by owning BFSI, a largest of the large cap or mid cap, you might not make money. To get a asymmetry, you need to go through the transformational stories, be it IFL Capital or be it JM Financial or be Repco Home Finance or Edelweiss for that matter. These are all transformational stories. So you should look at transformational stories where it is providing a price value mismatch.
Thank you, sir.
Himanshu. Yes, Himanshu.
Yeah. Hi, Suyog Bhai. Good evening.
Yes, good evening.
Suyog Bhai, thank you first of all for your commitment for the community. You are on a holiday in Bali and still taking out time. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Right. Lovely pictures. I saw them on Instagram also.
Yes,
Very
thank you.
nice.
Yes.
Suyog Bhai, my question was regarding the silver. I was going through few of the videos of few of the analysts in America. Like one of that is Mike Maloney.
Okay.
So he's been doing quite a bit of research and coming up with different kind of prices. So uh, you know so inflation CPI adjusted prices for if has to go for the 1980, then it went to $50. So now they say that is around $200. And if it has to be the US housing data, the as much the real estate, if you adjust that growth, then it becomes some $468, and currently it is at $38. So I wanted to know how seriously do you take such kind of predictions, and because silver is not that easier. I mean, there are no fundamentals per se, like as in a company, you can see the growth, the fundamentals, the order book, and all that. So, what could be the holding conviction behind such commodities?
So I have discussed this in detail in the commodity bull run session, which I took last year in March. You can go through that. That itself will give you the conviction on the entire commodity play, especially precious metals. I've talked about it that we are in a precious metal bull run at least till 2028. So I've been talking about it and I've been repeatedly saying about it that, and so I don't know much about the price where it can go. We have to just ride the trend as long as the trend is intact. But because it can go anywhere, I don't know whether it will take us out at 75 or whether it will take us out at 120. We don't know. So as long as, because what happens is usually the rises which happens in silver, these are parabolic rises. So we don't
Yeah,
know where it will take us out. As of now, we are already in the trend. So it is a good problem to have to say that when I will get exit, but we don't have to think about it,
right,
because as of now, if we sometimes what happens is we think too much, and which is of no use. As we go forward, the developments will keep on happening and it will be in front of your eyes, which will build your conviction further. As of now, you don't need to have all the answers.
correct. Yeah.
what I need to have is, see, you need to enter into an asset where you know that losing money is difficult. So that zone in silver was between 95,000 to 1,05,000. So in that zone, it was very difficult for someone to lose money. So if you haven't been into that zone, now there is no worry. And when you are into that zone, when the trend is riding up, just ride the trend. And as the development happens, because what I might think today might not be the same, and some other developments might come which you might have not thought.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Thank you, Suyog bhai. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So one more thing. See, whenever you are looking at any stock or any opportunity, you just focus कि मेरा इसमें कि भाई पैसा मेरा जाए ना. अगर कोई भी कुछ भी एडवर्सरी आए तो मेरा पैसा नहीं जाना चाहिए. And if you just focus on that, literally you will be seeing that most of the uncertainty plays out in a positive way. Because
Right.
if what we say, if people with 100% clarity would have had made big money, there are a lot of people who are having a lot of clarity, but still they don't make money. Why? Because investing is more about the behavior. How do you behave? How do you be into that zone? Than having all the clarity. I have seen in my career that people with less clarity, but just being and believing in long term trends, when the trend is set, they make more bigger money than the people who are more active in the markets. So we need to learn to understand that difference, what is important at this stage and what is not, so that it will help us. Because what happens is, too much of studies and too much of things sometimes or most of the times, it creates a lot of clutter in your mind.
Correct. Suyog bhai. बिल्कुल ठीक बात है.
Yeah. Thank you.
Hello.
Yes.
हेलो
Yes, please ask your question.
सर, आपकी जो एडवाइजरी सर्विस है वैल्यू, उसका मैं क्या सेंड कर दोगे पूरा प्रॉपर क्या है क्या नहीं है उसमें?
आप मैं इसमें टेलीग्राम पे आई विल पुट द मैसेज ऑफ माय मींस नंबर ऑफ माय टीम मेंबर. आप उनको कनेक्ट कीजिए, या वो एक्सप्लेन करेंगे. और वो अपनी एडवाइजरी नहीं है, इट इज थ्रू अ सेबी रजिस्टर्ड इन्वेस्टमेंट एडवाइजर, जहां मैं सजेशंस देता हूं. और वो ड्यूली डबल रिसर्च करके प्रॉपर ये करके मैं आइडियाज उनको शेयर करता हूँ मेरे हिसाब से, एंड दे मेक इट अ पार्ट ऑफ द पोर्टफोलियो. तो आपको डिटेल्स पूरी दी जाएगी. यू कैन जस्ट कनेक्ट विद देम. द नंबर विल बी शेयर्ड इन द कमेंट्स in the VIP access.
ओके सर.
Okay. So if there are no more questions, we'll end this session. It's been long time. Thank you everyone for joining in. I'm just ending this session. Vishwanath, one last question. Yeah, Vishwanath.
हेलो.
Yes, Vishwanath.
चलो, आवाज आ रहा है मेरा?
हाँ, आ रहा है.
यस. मुझे सर आपने जो कॉपर के बारे में पूछा उसके बारे में पूछना है. बताया कि कॉपर के बारे में आप देख रहे हैं, तो जैसे आपने बताया कि 3 टाइप की स्टोरेज होती है, 1 to 5, देन मोर देन 5 एंड डिकेडल. तो कॉपर के बारे में आपका क्या एग्जैक्टली व्यू है?
3 to 4, the copper overall commodity bull run is a 2028-2029 story, and copper is a part of it. तो 2028-29 तक कॉपर मतलब ओवरऑल कमोडिटीज अच्छा करेंगे, तो कॉपर भी उसी में आई एम लुकिंग एट इट. पहले गोल्ड सिल्वर ने अच्छा किया है, अभी बाद में कॉपर इट शुड एंटर.
तो इंडिया में जैसे कोई ETF या म्यूचुअल फंड आप देख रहे हो उसके लिए?
इंडिया में लिमिटेड ऑप्शंस है, इसीलिए मैं यूएस में देख रहा हूँ, कॉपर माइनर्स ETF। इंडिया में एक ही कंपनी है, हिंदुस्तान कॉपर, बट थीम अगर प्ले करना है तो एक ही स्टॉक से इज नॉट अ गुड वे ऑफ लुकिंग इट, तो मैं कॉपर माइनर्स यूएस में देख रहा हूँ।
ओके, ठीक है, थैंक यू सर।
ओके, और अभी सिर्फ देख रहा हूँ, आई हैव नॉट येट मेड अ डिसीजन, क्योंकि रिसेंटली हमने सिल्वर माइनर्स वी इन्वेस्टेड, दैट हैज डन एक्सट्रीमली वेल। यस वेद, वन लास्ट क्वेश्चन आई विल बी टेकिंग। सचिन,
सर कॉपर का ही कंटिन्यू करना था कि कॉपर ने मंथली चार्ट पे ब्रेकआउट दिया है, इसलिए आप उसको कंसिडर कर रहे हैं, ऐसा है क्या?
उतना ही नहीं है, मैंने एक डिटेल सेशन किया है उसके ऊपर, कॉपर सॉरी कमोडिटी बुलरन के ऊपर, तो पूरा मेरा थीसिस समझिए, तो उसके हिसाब से आपको समझेगा। उसके साथ एक प्राइस एक्शन एक पार्ट होता है ओवरऑल थीसिस में, थीसिस इंपॉर्टेंट है, वो थीसिस आप समझेंगे तो ओवरऑल समझ में आएगा आपको।
वो सर यूट्यूब पे अवेलेबल है?
हाँ,
ओके, थैंक यू सर, आई विल चेक।
सुचित,
Hello.
यस
Hi, Suyog. Suchit this side. Suyog, I
यस,
just wanted to check. You have mentioned about one of the stock that you are checking right now, which is Dynamic One. So,
या
what makes you so bullish? You were saying ki maybe over a period of time, its profit can go up to 5x from what it is today. So, what is that underlying thing on which you are so bullish about this stock in terms of the profitability?
या go through my post on Twitter, I posted about it. Maybe after this session I'll highlight that tweet, finding, if I on my timeline you can search that. So
Okay.
here the clear signs is the capacity has gone up 3x,
Okay.
utilization level is below 50%, and my thesis is usually dynamic products and Vidhi die stuff, they used to move in tandem in terms of market cap and stock price both, in terms of even capacity and all. So Vidhi die stuff, just look at the Vidhi die stuff where it is trading. Dynamic is way behind, because Dynamic went through a different business cycle. It was late, and the stock is extremely undervalued. And why the profitability can go up? The simple thing is sales can triple from here, and the margins are suppressed because the utilization level is low. And when the utilization level is low, margins are suppressed. You are not working on your fixed assets. Variable costs are high, and your margins are suppressed. So the margins can go up if the sales can go up 2x and margins can go up like 4x. Automatically, you will see that profitability can go up 5 to 8x.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. And this time frame is typically 3 to 4 years from here, is what we foresee.
Yeah, because it is coming out of a phase, bad patch, the whole dyes, chemicals, dyes and intermediaries, and it has already started doing well. I posted about it last year uh, during the same time. I think around August I posted about it.
Okay.
Hmm.
Got it. Thanks.
Thank you everyone for joining in. I'm just ending this session.